Hey folks, Landstryder here, and you're watching my Attack of the B Team server play series. And I think it's maybe like episode 4 or something like that. I did not really keeping track of the number on this series because it's kind of irregular. Yeah, I just wanted to get in here. I haven't been in here in a while, and that noise you hear right now is my automated tree farm going. Here sounds like there's a bunch of spiders ready waiting to attack me. Yeah, they're there. I see them. I hear them. Yeah, there they are. Oh, they're not really aggressive right now because it's daytime. Oh, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh, it made me land on my button. Nope, that's okay. It closed right back up. So let's take a look at the automated tree farm real quick. Right now I have it set up to only plant trees in these quadrants because I want other trees planted in these quadrants. And I want to get some jungle trees. I don't have them yet. So that's just planting, I guess, spruce in there right now. As soon as I get some jungle trees, one of these sections in the back here will go to jungle so that I can get all the sapperlings. And the reason I want to have all 4 vanilla type of trees, let's see, oak, birch, spruce, and then of course eventually a jungle will be over there. As soon as I find a jungle, I've done a lot of searching for jungle in this map, and I've just not been able to find one. I mean, there seems to be quite rare. I can't find jungle tree anywhere, and every time I find one that has jungle tree wood for the trunk, it has oak leaves for the canopy, and then it doesn't give me jungle tree saplings. It's kind of a bummer. But yeah, this is the automated tree farm that I set up. This powers my base. It's going to be the source of all of my power, which the harvester goes ahead, and as soon as the tree grows, it harvests it up, and you can see the power line come up to it there. And you can also see that there's an item duct here that sends the items back out. Now it's kind of hard to see because I have a lot of it covered up, so I'll probably tear some covers off so you can see what's going on in here. I love my door. I switched it over to smooth stone just because it's a little harder for creeper explosions and stuff to affect smooth stone. I mean, yeah, they'll still break smooth stone, but not if they're like not too close to it. So it's not too much of a deal because like when it's closed up, nothing knows I'm even in there. So step on the pressure plate, it opens back up. Step on this pressure plate, it closes back. I love that door. That's some Carpenter pressure plates. Now these won't actually activate with mobs touching them. These will only activate on players. You see they're Carpenter's pressure plates. You can disguise them with whatever block you want. I just want them to blend in with the floor, with their surroundings. So let's take a look at the behind the scenes here. Yeah, this is my door that goes down into the mines now. I wanted to secure that up because I was having mobs come up through there. So that's got that similar, the very familiar drawbridge that's been disguised. And the drawbridge can actually deploy iron bars, so I went ahead and used some iron bars for that made a pretty nice door. Yeah, and that goes on down all the way down to like almost bedrock there for the mine there. I had my minions dig that out for me a while back, I think. So anyway, I've got all these different furnaces here. And if I take and pull this off, you can kind of see what's going on. Let me get in the bat form just so it's easier to move around and kind of poke my head into tight spaces so we can see what's going on. You can see the power line goes down there to the planter, and we can access the planter from the bottom. But yeah, we got power going down there to the planter. Then what happens is all of these, oh no, my inventory is full of junk. That's an issue that I'm going to be dealing with today in this episode. So you can see I've got item filter set up for rubber wood and spruce wood, and it's set to use the OR dictionary and ignore metadata and NTB data. So pretty much what that's going to mean is any wood that comes down through here, down through the item pipe, is going to have the ability to go into this side of here. And then these are actually covers. We pull those off. We can see that this pipe goes all the way down here, and the pipe actually, and pull this cover off, this cover, just so we can see. this pipe wraps all the way around the furnaces. So when they have a, and then if we look on the bottom here, so it pulls out the coal or charcoal out of here. It will allow charcoal, only charcoal, to go into these sides. Let me clear up some inventory here real quick so I can actually click stuff. Whoops. Yeah, probably goes in there. Oh no, orange stained sapling goes over here. You can see I went out and I got every color of stained sapling there is. Let me just see if I can't turn those volume down on that trees too, because that's going to probably be a little annoying on the to do volume, sound. Okay, I guess I only have sound, the whole thing. So I'm just going to mute it there for a minute. Shouldn't have to worry too much about too many mobs sneaking up on me right now, but I do have covers popping out all over the place here now. Maybe I can pick them up. Let me see if I can't get a few more things out of my inventory real fast here. I got all kinds of stuff I was using to craft with and such. And some sapperlings, some extra food items, and all kinds of just stuff. And that is what I need to work on today. I've been working on it, and I just wanted to show you my progress on it. You can kind of see a piece of it there. But let's finish up talking about the power system before I move along. So yeah, the wood comes down to this pipe, and it's going to go to the first place that it can in an item duct. So if this furnace is open, doesn't have any wood, or it matches the same kind of wood that's already in there, it's going to go ahead and go into that furnace and start cooking up. And as soon as it finishes cooking the charcoal, it pulls it out. And it looks for a destination. And if there's any space in any of the furnaces nearby, in the fuel slot, it'll move into there. And if not, it'll move down this pipe here. Wait, where is it at? Yeah, it should be right here. Oh, okay, yeah. You can see right here it comes down through, and then it goes down straight down between these two rows of steam dynamos. And I've got 10 total steam dynamos. It takes 5 steam dynamos to fully power, to basically put the most power that you can into a hardened energy conduit. So I have this stuff is all run on a hardened energy conduit. This line over here goes up and powers the harvester and the planter. And if we look in the planter, we can see how I have that set up right now. Because I don't have anything in that slot, it'll just plant whatever tree there until I find a jungle tree. And then you can see I'm building up sapperlings quite a bit there. So when those sapperlings, when it runs out of space in there for sapperlings, they will start ending up down here. And this is also the overflow for the extra charcoal. I was originally processing rubber trees with this, which is why you've seen the filter had rubber logs. I've got enough rubber. I've got so much rubber, I probably never use it all up. But if I do, it's not a big deal. I can just throw another stack of rubber tree sapperlings in here and reconfigure it to grow a few more. The furnaces are already set to deal with it. This particular furnace on the end here will actually accept rubber drops, and it will process rubber, because if I look right here at this one, and then again I got no hand out. There we go. Again, I look at this one, it'll take rubber wood, spruce wood, or raw rubber. And of course, having spruce wood in there basically means it'll take any type of vanilla wood because of the rest of the settings. So I'll close that up later. I'm just trying to show this off as much as I can. Now this side over here, these 5, they just go into a power conduit that doesn't really have a use yet. This is basically just for the future, power for the future, I guess. And I wanted to have it, set up right now. I'm not sure what I will use that power for. I might just use it for charging up some energy cells for remote locations stuff. I have no idea yet. But I thought it also looked cool to have 2 rows of them over here for the power system, and they're just part of the flooring more or less. You can kind of see through here. I don't know, I think it looks pretty decent. This igneous extruder is making me smooth stone, so I don't have to use energy to cook smooth stone. I can just pull smooth stone out of here, and it just makes it for the cost of some water. And that's hooked up to the same aqueous accumulator that all of these guys are hooked up to. It's more than enough water to feed all of this stuff out of one aqueous accumulator down underneath there. I'm pretty sure I showed that on the last video that I made for this series. So let's get to what I want to do today. Last episode it was all about power, and this time I'm dealing with mass storage. So I've got like chests here and there, and they're filling up and filling up. I've got all this stuff. I started to build chests over here, and in fact these need to come out. These need to move because they don't belong here yet. This area is going to be for something else. I don't know what, but something else. Maybe I'll display all my guns over here or something. But what's going to happen is all of my storage, every bit of everything, even this chest, and is probably going to go. This one chest, this crafting station, that's going to stay. And this chest is eventually going to get emptied out down into the mass storage room down here. When we come down here, we can see I've got a little bit of a start on it. So what's going to happen down here is all these chests, I'm going to have, let's see, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of double chests, or 5 double chests stacked up high, and then 4 columns of those. Yeah, 5 rows and 4 columns. So for a total of 20 double chests worth of storage space. And these Project Red transportation pipes, you can see it's right there, it's moving stuff around right now. Or it's trying to. Yeah, it doesn't know where that wants to go. It's just kind of randomly bouncing around because I haven't got the thing fully configured properly yet. And it ended up someplace. Maybe it'll end up someplace. And this chest will stay here. And it might only be a single small chest. So what's going to happen with this? This one's going to be my input to the mass storage system. Now also down here I want to utilize this space over here for some storage crates, which are going to be single item storage. So like I'll have a crate full of cobblestone, and I might have a crate full of rubber. I might use a crate or two that have like 1 or 2 things, but there's a weird interaction with the item transportation pipes and the better storage crates. If you have a bunch of items in a big storage crate, the call pipe, you can see right here, is showing me everything that's in my system down there that I have currently configured properly. It's showing me all the stuff that's down there. When it asks the pipe attached to a large crate for its contents, the large crate responds with a random list of stuff that's in it based on how many number of items are in it. So if you have a lot more than the number of items that can be displayed in a normal crate interface, then the request pipe is going to show you random stuff every time. But if you use the crate, and you can see I have some crates that I was using to experiment with this, if you use the crate for only like 1 or 2 items, when the pipe says, okay, what do you have in you, the storage crate responds with, well, I have a whole bunch of this 1 item, and I can show you that, and it might not give you an accurate count, but it will allow you to call items from it, maybe a stack or 2, and like cobblestone. It's basically just going to be for the things that I have a ridiculous amount of like charcoal, because I'm getting a pretty ridiculous amount of it. And I need to make sure that this chest here never completely fills up, so I will be attaching a emptier, something to empty this out eventually, or directly attaching the item duct. I might even replace the item duct with this whole type of system over here eventually. It is expensive stuff to make, let me tell you. It takes a lot of time invested, and it took me a little bit to figure out exactly how it works. So let me get into how it works. So we see an item request pipe. This is the pipe that you can interface with it. You can tell it, okay, I want, well, let's make sure I have space in here before I do this. Say I want my quantum dust. So I click that and tell it I want all of those, and then I'm going to say submit. It's pulling, and then it pulled it up and it stuck it in this crate. Isn't that great? Now that maybe that thing down there will eventually find its home. So this pipe doesn't require any kind of anything else. You just build this pipe and it does what it does. It has the interface. It queries the system every time you open it and figures out what all you have down here in all the network that has. But in order for it to know what is available, like this chest's full, that's why that can't keep, it keeps trying to go in there but it can't. So if I look at this one, this is a routed interface pipe. Now everything that you want to interface with, every piece, every chest, every machine, basically every inventory that you want your system to interface with needs to be attached to a routed interface pipe. And you see this side with the yellow dots is the side that it's actually interfacing with. So it's not actually I mean, it shows like an attachment there, but it's not technically attached to it. I mean, it's not paying any attention to that side. It's only looking at this side. So this one is the only one I currently have set up properly. As you can see, I have an item responder chip and an item broadcaster chip. Now the responder chip, when I put a item in, and I'm going to just go ahead and dig that out so I can get down right there. You can see I also have a interface pipe to this chest. Now this one has a item extractor chip. So basically anything that ends up in this inventory is going to it's going to attempt to extract it and send it someplace else. So when it pulls something out, before it actually sends it anywhere, it looks for a place to send it to. If it doesn't have a place to send it to, it won't pull it out, which I don't know why that is bouncing around, but it must have had a place, and then that place got taken up by something else before it arrived. So that is one of the that is one of the problems with the system. If the inventory becomes full, because that might send an item, and before that item gets here, it sends another item thinking that there's still space, but then the first item it sent arrives, and then there's no space for the second item. So that's how that ends up bouncing around in there like that. So I don't have, let's see, I guess I do have item broadcaster in here. So if I put stuff in this one, it would be available to call out. But the thing is it won't accept anything until I put a item responder chip in there. So let's talk about that. So there's the main things. Now the other pipe that you're going to need a lot of is the routed junction pipe, and that basically just goes that wherever you have an intersection. If you don't have one of those at the intersection, then the item will really bounce around randomly. Now these guys are just bouncing around randomly because they are just kind of looking for a place to get out. But I don't know why they don't just allow them into some of these other chests, but it don't for some reason. So yeah, you need one of these at every intersection that has multiple directions coming off of it. So, and that's just to keep things moving relatively smoothly. If you don't have it, it'll still work, but things might not get to where you want them to go as fast. So that's the 3 specialty pipes. Now there's a whole bunch. Now the rest of it is just basic item transportation pipes. And if I look in here, we can see I have some item transportation pipes. Actually, I had some of those in my inventory already. And they're not bad. They're not bad to craft at all. If we look at the crafting recipe, we go transportation pipes. Item transportation pipes are pretty cheap. They're just smooth stone and a glass pane will give you 16 of these things. It's not bad at all. When you start talking about the more advanced ones, so all of the advanced ones start with a routed junction pipe. So you got to make this green aluminar and red aluminar. And aluminar is made with glowstone and some kind of dye, whatever color of aluminar it is, that's 2 colors of dye, and that gives you 1 aluminar. Which is why I wanted to go out and get all of those sapperlings that you've seen in the other chest. So if I look at that again, if I go back to, where to go? There it is, there's the one I'm on. So it still takes the glass pane in the middle, but it takes 2 diamonds per 16. And you also have to have these infused silicon. Well, there's a little bit of a process to make those. Those require these red silicon compound. To get the red silicon compound, you have to take redstone and surround a piece of regular silicone. And to get the regular silicone, you have to take a saw and cut up a silicon boule. And it has to be a diamond saw. It can't be like a regular saw, any other kind of saw. It has to be diamond. And to get the silicon boule, you have to cook a sandy coal compound. Okay, you can see this is getting really deep. To get the sandy coal compound, you surround a block of coal with sand. And then, of course, a block of coal is made with 9 coal. So yeah, it gets pretty deep as to the crafting chain that is required to make these. But that's probably the most in-depth one right there. So once you have some of these, you can then craft any of these other more advanced ones. So you'll definitely want some routed interface. So you upgrade a routed junction pipe with some gold and some redstone. You can get the interface one. That's the one that attaches to all your inventories. You can get the routed request pipe, and this is how you call things out of your system into a chest or an inventory. And it'll put it right there. You know, or I'm sorry, it takes 2 diamonds and some redstone to upgrade it, and it'll put it into an inventory that's attached. I think that if there's no inventory attached, it'll just spit it out at you. Okay, and then let's talk real briefly about these other 2. Routed crafting pipe is glowstone and redstone for the upgrade, and that's what you would attach to, say, a machine to be able to teach your piping system how to craft things for you on demand. And I'm not going to get into that in this episode, but that's what it does. So we go back and take another look in here. There's 2 other ones to talk about. The routed extension pipe is similar to the routed crafting pipe. It has something to do with crafting. I don't fully understand that one yet, so I'm not even going to try to pretend like I know what it does. I just know that it has something to do with crafting. And then the firewall pipe, basically that just prevents certain items from passing through it. So if you use those in your system, it just prevents, like, say you don't want cobble to go down a certain route. You want it to go like only in, you know, over to some place where it's going to get destroyed or turned into something or whatever. You know, you would use the firewall pipe to block the path of the cobble in one of the directions by using the firewall pipe. Just prevents it from going that way. Prevents anything that you want from going down that pipe. So once you got these pipes, you got to make cards for them. Now, the request pipe didn't need a card. It just works the way it does. What does require cards is all of the interface pipes. Now, I don't believe that the junction pipe would use a card. It does not. You would be able to open its inventory if it did. But what does need them for sure is the interface pipes. So every interface pipe that you actually want to do something, it won't do anything by just attaching it to the inventory. You have to provide it with some kind of card, at least one kind of card, that tells it to do something. And you can have multiple cards attached to each one, up to 4, obviously. And then those cards can do a bunch of different things. So let's talk about the cards real quick. There's the item responder card, which is, I believe, does something similar to the request pipe. It will pretty much keep a certain item in the inventory, and if it's, I believe, wait, let me check something real quick. Make sure I'm not saying the wrong thing here. Do I have an item? No, I do have an item responder pipe. Okay, the inventory won't accept anything if it doesn't have a responder pipe. So it has to, or a responder chip. Sorry, I keep saying pipe. I'm talking about chips now. So item responder chips are what will talk to the other cards and stuff in the system and let them know that there's inventory space available at this location. So this one here does not have an item responder chip, but it has a broadcaster chip. The broadcaster chip is what responds when you open this. This says to all of the broadcaster chips, hey, what's in your inventory? And then it displays it here in this interface. But what I need to do is make some more of those item responders. So I am going to need some more orange. I want to leave myself enough orange that I can grow some more. 2 should probably be okay. I'll be okay with 2. So I need to make some aluminar. So if I look up here, I should have some glowstone. Gonna need more of this stuff. Okay, so yeah, actually 1, 2, might as well make it in a multiple of 4 because that's what they're going to get used in. I'm going to go ahead and save those for later. And then I need to make some item responder chips. So you see the item responder chips takes 4 aluminar. You're going to use a lot of this aluminar for these. Some redstone, piece of iron, and the null logic routing chip. The null logic routing chip doesn't do anything by itself. It's just the blank version of all of these cards. So that is some paper, some redstone, and some gold nuggets. This is kind of why I had all this stuff in my inventory earlier. I already have the paper. Do I have the iron and the redstone? I probably need some more redstone before this is all said and done. So we'll do that. So make myself one of these first. Actually 2 of those. Actually, let me just go ahead and make as many of those as I can because I have to put in 1 for every one of those chests, double chests down there that I'm going to have. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The difference between the item responder chip and the dynamic item responder chip is the dynamic item responder chip will only allow things into the inventory that are already present in the inventory. So if well, let's say I only wanted rubber in this chest over here. Oh wow, I got stuff in this chest already. If I only wanted rubber in this chest right here, I would put rubber in there, and then I could use a dynamic item responder chip, and it would say that there's only a place for rubber here. So that's probably what I will use on the that's probably what I will use on the crates. When I do the crates is the dynamic one, so that it only allows stuff that's already in the crate into the crate. So if I start the crate up and put a piece of charcoal in there, it'll only allow charcoal there. And then we'll get to something else here in just a second as soon as I actually finish building one of these. So let me get 2 of those. Since that's how much aluminar I have of this stuff, I'm going to have to make a whole lot more of them dyed trees. So now that I have the item responder chips, I can right click and I can get this interface. Any of these dots are where you would click to configure stuff. And if you click this, you can see that you can set the filtering mode. I actually want to set these to items are blacklisted, and then I want to leave it blank so that nothing is blacklisted. I can say it, and I can tell it to match on metadata. I can tell it to match on NBT data, and I can tell it to use the OR dictionary to match items. This should look kind of similar if you're used to using applied energistics systems, or yeah, these are pretty much the same options you have when storing stuff in applied energistics systems. So this is very similar to that system. It's just it looks entirely different, and there's a little bit different. I mean, it's a lot different to set up. So now if I open, well, actually what I can do is I can just take this and click it into there. But now if I use my hand and open up, I can see that it now has an item responder chip. Awesome. So I want to give this one an item responder chip. Great. But these also are going to need some broadcasters if I want to be able to tell what's in them from up there, and call it to the crafting chest. So what I need to do now is get some of the purple dye that or the purple ones in here that I have. Let's save a few. Let's see. Is it 32 is probably divisible by 4, isn't it? Do that. Yeah, that works. 16. I'm going to get 16 of those. And then I'm going to be able to make some... Oh, it's magenta, not purple. Well, maybe I'll be able to use purple. Wait, is that right? Item Terminator is the one that uses the purple, and it only uses 2 of those. And that's one I really couldn't explain to you. I believe that is like if you wanted, like, if I had an Item Terminator, I wouldn't have those items floating around in there. Because eventually it would go to that. If it couldn't find any place else to go, it would go to the chest with the Item Terminator. I think that's how that works. And you guys can feel free to post comments and tell me what I'm getting wrong about this, because there's very little information about it that I can find other than on the Project Red wiki, and that's not the most clear wiki that I could possibly think to imagine. So what I actually need is magenta. Oh, I don't have very much of that at all. So I'm going to get 16 of that out and go ahead and make 8 of those. And then I should be able to make... What am I missing here? Oh, this requires gold. Okay, so I'm going to need some gold ingots, which I have, so that's no problem. Yeah, getting materials in this mod pack is not a problem, and that is one of the major reasons I need this huge system of storage, because I've just got so many items. So these two should already have, right? Yeah, that already has them. So as soon as I put these guys in here, wait, oh wait, I didn't configure these yet. Mode blacklist, filter empty, preference priority 0, extract orientation default, that's fine. So now will you go in there? Yes. I guess you gotta open them once so that they actually become set. So that one now has a item responder, or that one has the item broadcaster and responder. So all of the inventory in these 4 chests is accessible to the input chest and to the request pipe. Well, the one wasn't accessible to the input chest, but they're all accessible to the request pipe. So if I open this now, I should see, yeah, I do see some more stuff. And it's not a lot more stuff. Is that right? Let me look down in here. Oh yeah, I guess this isn't full with a lot of stuff, and a lot of it is the same stuff, it's just multiple stacks of it. So if I come back up here and look at it again, so yeah, those things that I've seen in that chest are now available here now too. The only thing I might want to do for temporary is like send all this stuff down there. So I might need to like temporarily put a piece of pipe here just to empty that stuff out. But okay, so anyway, moving along. That's my mass storage system. I kind of wanted to show that off. And it's really the only mass storage system that I could come up with in this mod pack. It seemed like most of the normal options that I would use, like barrels or Java or anything like that, or applied energistics, are not available. There's no BuildCraft, so I couldn't use that. Although these pipes function pretty much very similar to logistics pipes, except they don't require the power interface and constant source of energy, being drained. So that's kind of nice about them. There's a lot of investment of materials and time to get them up and running, and they're a little confusing when you're setting them up and stuff, but once you get it going, so now I can start tossing stuff in here, and it'll start sending things out as soon as it finds a place for it to go. You can see there it goes, and moves through the system. There it goes. That is nice. So I can start storing things in my mass storage system. That is beautiful. I'll just throw all this stuff in there for the time being, because I'm going to have to go and either grow a bunch more of these trees, which that gets a little tiresome, especially with the amount of dye that I need. Or I can actually go out and find some flowers and grind them. If you put flowers in a pulverizer, you get a lot more dye than you would if you just put them in a crafting table. I don't know if that works for all the flowers, like the Biomes of Plenty flowers and all that. I know it works for the vanilla flowers, like the red rose and the dandelion yellow. It'll definitely work for those. And then like all these other dyes that you see in here right now, these are from like some Biomes of Plenty. You can see the bone white of the Artifice adds some dyes, so that's also where you get the brown. I like the fact that it uses the same icon as the Minecraft dyes. I don't really care for that Biomes of Plenty icon, but that's here nor there. Moving along, actually wrapping it up, because that was the majority of what I wanted to show you. I mean, I got my machines going. I have all the thermal expansion machines that I need. I'm thinking that the next time you see me on this mod pack, this should be, I should probably have something over here to look at, and it'll most likely be a whole bunch of guns and ammo, I'm guessing. And maybe someplace I'll have a mob spawner set up. Let me close that up before mobs come up out of there. You know, maybe someplace I'll get a mob spawner set up and show what it takes to get a bunch of gunpowder real easy. Or, if you would prefer, leave a message in my comment on this video. If you would prefer, I could work towards witchery and witchcraft, because I have a bit of a start on that, and I do want to get into that some in this mod pack. Ooh, lots of bad guys out here right now. I definitely want to get into some of that on here on the server. Now, I haven't seen anybody on in a while. Like I've said in previous episodes, that's because I keep some kind of odd hours on here. And I think most of the people on here are European, or they're definitely from a different time zone than me. So it makes it even a little more awkward for meeting up and doing stuff. But you know, maybe I can find somebody's base and get some tag locks and you know, have some fun with them if I can catch them online and stuff. But let me know, would you prefer to see guns and ammo or witchery? So yeah, those are the two options I'm thinking about for the next episode. Let me know what you think in the comments, please. And if you like this video, leave a like and a comment and a thumbs up if you don't mind. And if you didn't, leave a comment anyway, because I'd like to know how I can improve it and you know, make it better and more appealing in the future. So I will catch you later.